Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast. This edition of the Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by these great sponsors. Axon started out of a passion for keeping agriculture moving. Imagine having 100 years of tire and wheel knowledge in your back pocket the next time you sell a piece of ag equipment. To find more or become an Axon dealer, please visit axontire.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours. No matter how you buy your ag equipment, whether it's from a dealer, an auction, or a private party, AgDirect can help you finance it. You can even apply online at agdirect.com. Learn more about your financing options at agdirect.com. TractorZoom has access to over $20 billion in heavy equipment sales data. TractorZoom's Iron Comps is the industry's trusted solution for transparent equipment values and auctionable pricing insights. This podcast is brought to you by Anvil AppWorks. The Dealer Connect CRMI app with integrated inventory management is an affordable Salesforce-based solution for your dealership. Create connected customer experience and transform how you work.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving iron.
Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast number 286, coming to you from the Hilton in Nashville during the Moving Iron Summit. This edition of the Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by Axon Tire, helping dealers move more iron for the past 100 years. For more information, go to axontire.com. Axon would also like to give the loyal listeners of the Moving Iron Podcast a free Axon desk pad. Anyone who emails marketing@axontire.com, Axon will then send you an Axon desk pad. Make sure you mention you heard about it in the Moving Iron Podcast. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all of your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours. And no matter how you buy ag equipment, from a dealer, auction, or private party, AgDirect can finance it. You can even apply online at agdirect.com. Learn more about your financing options at agdirect.com. TractorZoom has access to over $20 billion in heavy equipment sales data. TractorZoom's Iron Comps is the industry's trusted solution for transparent equipment values and auctionable pricing insights. And finally, this podcast is brought to you by Anvil AppWorks. Their Dealer Connect CRMI app with integrated inventory management is an affordable Salesforce-based solution for your dealership. Create connected customer experiences and transform how you work. Okay, so the boss turned me loose with the microphone on this deal because it's his big shindig and he's busy. So I am Aaron without Casey, and joining me today I have Brent Bowen with AHW out of Illinois, Brad Christ with Shopas or Shopas? Shopas. I always say Shopas. Out of Shopas in South Texas, Bryant Roberson from Quality Equipment in the Carolinas, and Matt Hussel from Wade in Mississippi, and myself out of 21st in Nebraska, Colorado, where it never rains. So, we're here at the summit, guys. How you doing?
Real good.
Good to be here.
Good right on.
Yep. Definitely good to be here.
Right on. We got a nice little mix here from scattered about. We got oceans, gulfs, mountains all represented. Here we go. And that dude that has the black dirt over there on the far side of the table.
Yeah, just stay for the night. Yeah.
How was your corn? Oh, it was so bad we only hit 250 this year.
Yeah.
Only 250.
It didn't rain every other Monday, just Wednesday.
That's kind of accurate.
So, Bryant, we'll start with you over there in God's country.
Yep.
What's going on in your part of the world, man?
Getting combines ready to go. We're going to have corn. There was some corn actually coming out Central Illinois, right out Springfield, Illinois, last Thursday, which is the earliest I think I've ever seen corn harvested in Illinois. But as a whole, I would say we're still 3 weeks we'll be going in corn. Beans are way behind.
Really?
We just have a fantastic looking bean crop, and it's not dropped one leaf yet, so we're long way to go there.
Right.
We'll have most of the corn done before we ever get into beans.
Do you guys do? Does most of the corn there come out and go in the dryer versus field dry?
Yeah, it's very little will be field dry. The very tail end of our season will be field dry corn, but almost all of it will go into the dryers. Figure what's the September in 10 days, the elevators will start half price drying to get the systems up and running. So that'll be kind of a trigger. It's always right there that second week of September we start nosing around. But
get new crop flowing in, little incentive.
Yep.
I gotcha. What's kind of hot besides everything? Everything S130s can't keep them on the lot.
Yep. I tell you one thing that surprised the heck out of me in the last 30 days was 600 series auger heads, specifically 630s. Not that there's any of them left in Illinois, but could not believe what I saw on some auctions in literally all last month. 630 auger heads that we were trading around 2 years ago for $7,500 to $8,500, bringing damn near 30 was just, and one after the other. It was incredible. But heads have been really hot. Tractors, that goes without saying. But the surprise to me was the heads. It wasn't a total surprise, but the heads.
I've kind of noticed that too. And if you gather guys, even like 10 and 11 600 series corn heads they were like dead and gone. And if it's not a 14, I don't want it. Now it's like, do you have an 8 sitting out in the trees anywhere? And you're right. 3-4 years ago, we'd have 10 in that 630F, be begging each other, will you give me 5, please? It's got to go. And now it's worth 3 times that.
Yeah.
God bless the guy that bought them all and put them in a shed, right?
Fact.
Is that because, and I don't, we don't do any beans where we're at or any flex heads or anything, but is that because of availability through Deere? They backed them up, or?
On those older auger heads, I think the demand is export driven, but there is still some operations where it's incredible to me how many operations have added a combine. And now we got to have something to put on the front of it.
Right.
And it's just, never saw that before, not to this extent. And I think it's mostly export driven, but there's other factors there, second combines that are on operations that never had them, and they gotta have something to put. There's no flex drapers.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So they'll push anything at this point. So.
Yep. Will it cut that plant and put it in the feeder house? I'll take it.
Yep.
We got plenty of rigid drapers you need.
No, negative. Those will be going up. Isn't this the last year you can order a rigid draper?
Yes.
And those are they're hot for you too, aren't they?
Yeah, same thing with Matt, just cutting rice.
Right. And we use them for wheat, but you guys typically run steel fingers.
Yes,
on
we do.
yours.
Sometimes it just depends on the grower. Sometimes they're plastic, sometimes they're steel.
Gotcha.
But
what are you seeing, Brad?
Well, I tell you, I want to slap Brent. Great bean crop, beautiful corn. It was a train wreck this year in South Texas. We were dry. I mean, the chickens were burping dust. It was so dry where we're at. And corn yields, it was not uncommon to be 30 to 50, 60 bushel corn.
Damn.
Cotton was anywhere from 3/4 bale to bale and a quarter.
Gotcha.
Our best cotton is in the field right now, and now it decides to rain. So we're seeing some of our irrigated cotton looks like it's going to get zeroed out, but we're all but done with harvest.
Right.
The rice is out, the corn is out, milo's out. So we're pretty well done. And you asked Brent what's hot, and I mean we can all echo the same thing. But for us right now, the big thing is pickers. We were able to finish so early, so moving a lot back to the northeast of us through the Delta, through Georgia, and then that export market on cotton pickers is really, really good right now too. And not so much to China, and Matt, and you might talk on this a little bit, but we're getting a lot of South America, Brazil talk right now on pickers.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'd say is the hot button for us right now.
Gotcha.
It might be a little bit different than everybody else, just for our location.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I'm right there with Brad on the Brazil market. I mean, we get a lot of calls, weekly calls. Do you have pickers? No, we do not have pickers. And the backup of pickers too with us is going to affect our harvest some because we haven't got a lot of our pickers in.
Yeah, we were fortunate. We were early, like you were talking about on your corn, Brent. We were early. We got our last pickers in July, and they literally rolled out of the shop and went straight and started picking. So we were fortunate. Our crop is early, so we're going to be able to get some of those back east. What's interesting about that Brazil market to me is they're not calling on 99, 96 basket pickers.
Right.
They want CP 770s.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a totally different mindset.
2021 model pickers.
Yeah, that's what they want. Yeah, I mean, hey, I've got a 14 model 7760. They're not interested.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, they've basically skipped all the models and gone like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21
99,
models.
96 all the way up.
That's it. Yeah, just jump to it.
Yeah, I mean, they just skipped right over top of it.
And and you guys may see this. We're not in a huge combine area, but you guys may see this in combines. But at some point, we're looking at 7760 cotton pickers. Okay,
Right.
Who buys those pickers anymore? Because China won't export them
Right.
anymore. Brazil is showing us they want CPs. So where do you go with a machine like that? And go ahead, Aaron.
The same place you go with choppers of that era.
Perfect example.
Combines, you can run a combine all the way down to a 55 round back and get rid of the damn thing. But you get into choppers, pickers, strippers, you get 3 series out, and that's it.
It's it.
Well,
You can't. There aren't. Look at near and dear to my heart, 5830 John Deere chopper. You get one of those in, you better find a hobbyist that has a thick head like me who just has to have his own chopper, or what do you do with it? Because the chopper wholesaler doesn't want it. You're not going to export it.
At some point, we're going to have to be at a price point that can cover that small guy, like you said, the hobby farmer, 300-400 acre guy that normally traditionally wouldn't be looking at one of those pickers. And then eventually, even past that, we're going to have to look at the component value.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Brian. I've seen some sell. We had a sale down by us here 2 weeks ago, and some 7760s were in it, and they were bringing about 120,000. And
I mean,
I've been thinking about that component value.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 years has really kind of highlighted more of that than I think we ever would have thought. But not to echo back to cheap heads, I'm selling 635F heads for parts.
Yeah.
You need X part. Here's the whole thing.
Exactly.
I don't care what you
I mean,
do with
we're-
the
I've
rest
got
of it.
extra floor. I've got
Yeah.
real tubes.
But I think we're going to start. I predicted it. I think a year ago I said I thought we were going to have those early 680s. We're going to get absorbed in the market simply because we couldn't get parts on major breakdowns for newer machines.
Right.
And I think some of that happened. But I think what we'll see specifically to combines, I think we'll see those machines dispersed. I don't know when, but on a component level, even if it's into the export market, a lot of those parts will move over when we start talking about major components.
You're exactly right. And on top of that, on this component thing, I work out of our Bridgeport store. We have an All States Ag Parts right there in Bridgeport. Those guys have bought more shit, more equipment in the last 2 years and paid up for it than I ever would have thought. Because of fire and damage, they've bought some 8Rs from us that it was like that wasn't our trade value. They blew us out of the water. And it's like
for components.
Yeah, they're parting them.
And I've run into that twice this summer out of my shop, out of the location I work in, on 9,020 Series Ts.
Yes.
You can't get that back axle. There's one place in the country that's got it left, and I mean, you're paying to get it. So it stands to reason if you have one of those, a machine like that come into inventory, what's to say that a guy that's got 4 of them already.
The engine, the axles.
The engines, the axles. It's worth more. Its parts are worth more than the sum total of its pieces. So.
Yeah, you got a guy with 100,000 hectares in Western Ukraine.
Yeah.
Hell yes, he'll buy that and
set it in the corner.
It's worth that for parts all day, because when in the hell can he find it? Can he get it?
Yep.
Well, see, just like with Brad, myself, and Matt, I mean, look at some of these 7760s. I mean, they're getting some hours on them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're looking at 5,000, 6,000 hour machines coming in. And the value of the components is worth more than what the machine is to a consumer
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
Well, you have somebody trash some heads, it's got some value.
Yeah, the 6 heads, the power drive in the rear, the transmission, the engine, and in some parts the cab, because the first thing it's going to burn, if you get a fire up underneath the cab's going to burn.
Yep.
You can remove the cab, put it on another machine, and haul tail.
No, I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're going to, that stuff that's in that dead space, I think we're going to, because there's a lot of those machines out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot
Well,
of them.
and on your point, guys having added a second combine, that's why.
Yeah.
Because they had their 670 sitting in the shed that was a 14 that they bought new in 14, and then in 15, they think their combine's worth 200. And that one on that auction yard brought 90.
Yep.
Why wouldn't we buy a second
We'll just
combine?
buy another one.
Well, and I'll
And
tell
God bless them, now that combine's worth 120, so good
Yeah,
job,
yeah,
guys.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing I'm seeing too when it comes to that backup combine in our area. Like if you have a small guy that's probably farming 1,500 acres or so, has a combine, has engine fire in it, engine goes out, insurance pays for it, but it's in the middle of harvest, he'll go ahead and upgrade a machine, and rather than get rid of that machine and salvage it out, he'll go ahead and put the motor in it. Say, hey, I'm gonna use it as my backup.
Yep.
I know the machine. I know the rest of the machine.
We've seen that a lot.
That's a little different in my zip code. Like those happen. The
Yeah.
same deal happens, but those wind up coming down to the boot hill to salvage yards. But
Right.
But,
that would
you
be
know,
rare for us.
But in my territory is a cross between Brad Christ and Matt Housel, not me and you.
yeah. Oh, it's a zip code thing. There's no question about it.
I mean, Matt's got all those Mississippi beauty queens down there.
So, Brian, what are you seeing? What are you seeing down in your country?
All right,
man?
right now we're in full swing in corn harvest right now. We've been picking about 2 weeks. I would love to say that we were having a spectacular year like Mr. Bowen, but I mean, we're averaging. One of my farmers told me the other day, on one side of the road he was picking 50 bushels of corn. On the other side of the road he was picking 180.
Damn.
And it was just because the road separated the rain shower. I've got one customer I was talking to a while back. They had 5 weeks where they only saw 7/10 of an inch. Cotton's a complete disaster in that area. They've got some cotton that's 24, 36 inches flowering out the top. I mean, we all know what that's going to do. It's just not going to happen. Corn, they mowed down a bunch of corn in certain areas, but it seemed like it was very sporadic, almost like a Super 8 pattern.
Gotcha.
You go over here 10 miles and be a complete disaster, and a few more miles over. Some guys have been really, they've been really elated about what the yields are. I had a few that they were expecting 50, 60 bushels. They came out at 110, 120, which isn't spectacular, but at the same time, it's putting you closer to the goal. Our tobacco, it's looking good. It's in full harvest right now. Peanuts, I think you're going to see some guys start digging probably 2-3 weeks. Soybeans, we've got some guys that are combining some early soybeans right now. Some beans look really good. Some of the early beans look really good. Some of them are short. I talked to one guy. He had some cotton that they completely insuranced out because there was nothing there. It had no stand. They tilled it in, planted beans. He's probably about 5'9", 5'10". He said that the beans were up to his shoulders right now. And I mean, that's really good. I think our challenges, I think we just touched on it. I think my challenge is the same as theirs. It's these cotton pickers concern me greatly. The head availabilities, we've had a lot of guys looking for some auger heads for some drapers. They're not out there. You're not going to find them. Combines, we've had a few guys that wanted something. They wanted different combines to what we had. They're trying to kind of stepping back from the 8s and 9s, trying to go into 7s and 6s, and it's just they're not out there so far as a low hour machine.
Gotcha. What's hot? What's not?
What's hot?
Besides everything and nothing.
Well, if you can put your hands on it, you can sell it.
Right.
We've sold a lot of stuff I didn't feel like we would sell too fast. I've had some 9,000 hour, 10,000 hour articulants that were 17 years old, bringing $80,000, $90,000. I mean, that's just unheard of.
Absolutely.
And there's and to your additive, Brent, I can already hear you coming. They're selling them tractors. I could already hear the huffing. But I think anything's hot right now. If you've got the audience right now, at any time we have a strong audience.
I'll second that. Just some machines that with engines that we would have said 3 years ago, never sell, don't want it, toxic.
Yep.
Shoot, they just sell.
Oh, yeah.
I just can't fathom. We brought in, and this is to circle back around. It seems like now with commodity prices and then this availability situation, there is just stuff coming out of the woodwork that I didn't think still existed where I'm at.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it's not good stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's still going somewhere else. That's what I was scared to death that we'd just be hung with it.
But
And
this
it's
is
selling.
this is also the year if a farmer wants to get rid of a piece of equipment, there is a buyer somewhere out there.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
mean, this is a seller's market right now. I mean, it's not a buyer's market; it's definitely a seller's market.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure it matters what color.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
You know, and that's doing what I do. I have nothing to do with the new side at all till there's a trade.
Yep.
So in my world, it's all used all the time. I don't care what the color is. And Brent and I were talking about this last night. That's all I've done all year.
Yeah.
I have talked to red dealers, AGCO dealers, Klaus dealers, way more than any of you guys all year.
Yeah, really, that's right.
Other than we reach out to each other and be
Right.
like, I would love to, but I can't. Are you hiring? I'll sell you that tractor, and then I need a job.
Well, and you know, I don't know if it's any different for y'all, but the one thing I have noticed, like at the first part of the pandemic, if there was a green tractor on a red yard, you could get it.
Yep.
But
Now they won't let it go.
now
They want it too.
They want it too.
And they
Well,
want
you
your
heard what
red
David
tractor.
said yesterday.
Yeah, we don't have a problem getting rid of green ones.
And David's close enough to us, close enough but far enough away. We work together a lot. And hey, I got this. I see you have that. Let's swap. He goes, man, we sold that 2 days ago. Well,
Yep.
great. You know, that's not helping.
Yeah,
but
it's that has really tightened up. So that,
Yeah.
that really indicates how this market's moving.
yeah,
right
that
now.
the swaps used to be. Aaron, we've joked about this in the past. All of us, we used to just find the off-color dealer that was just far enough away, and hey, I got this. Let's make a trade.
Absolutely.
You know, this
And it
even
was-
work
it
for
was
you.
nothing.
We'll split the freight. Now those days are over.
I think we can. We got some quotes on that. Be like, you don't want quotes on that. Don't forget that part.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
And how I bring it up to some of these dealers too is you call a dealer up, I really need it. I don't want them to know I really need it, but I'm like, hey, I can trade you this piece, and you can sell the parts to it. You can sell the service to it. I can put something in your territory where you're not feeding your competition.
Right.
And
Yeah.
a lot of times they'll be like, oh well, I just thought about that. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. A little, just that reminder,
Just
like,
that little reminder. Hey,
there's a reason we've always done these trades.
There's a reason why
Yeah.
we've always done these.
You're
trades.
still getting that red thing, just don't get narrow-minded here.
For us, we've just focused on the management side from the top down on the sales force that, market share is incredibly important. Selling used, quality used in our AOR is incredibly important. It's me and my boss that we're leave the not green paint to us, and
Yep.
we're gonna, you guys focus on what we know.
Yeah.
Let's, if David was sitting here, he'd say the same thing, but
Oh, yeah.
he's also gonna sell the
You
green
know-
one too, because they kind of just
Right.
sell.
You notice with Brent in the room, he looks at us, he's like, quality tractors, keep the quality tractors in our territory.
It's almost
real-
insulting.
it's
I mean,
almost-
it really is.
it's
I mean,
Quality.
I just.
Hey, quality's supposed to come to quality.
Shit. Well, Matt, what's going on in your country, my man?
Well, we are in, harvest. Corn harvest in some areas is already over with. Most of it is getting started. Our irrigated corn looks better than expected, but our non-irrigated is struggling. Our bean harvest, we're having a lot of moisture. a lot of mold on some beans. A lot of, things that are damaged beans.
Right.
Because probably 3 weeks ago, we got about 6, 8, 10 days worth of rain. So that kind of hurt our bean crop. Our cotton crop, it needs sunshine, needs a little wet feet. Brad will tell you the same thing. Brian will tell you the same thing. If you get multiple days of rain and cloud cover, that's the worst thing ever on cotton crop.
Right. Yep.
It'll hurt it. Rice is underway. It looks better than average, what I've been told. And Our sweet potatoes, they getting started at and really hard to yield. Just like with sweet potatoes, you don't need wet ground because they will rot in the ground.
Right.
So, but what's hot and what's not, I mean, I'm kind of like Bryant. About anything you have, it can be hot.
Sure.
Of course, I mean, we always got combines to sell. We got a few combines when they sell and a few headers.
But they also have rice machines.
That's exactly right.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a rice machine.
Hey,
Variable stream rotor.
let me tell you, Matt, you preach it. I'll turn the pages. There ain't nothing wrong with the rice machine.
Nothing wrong with the rice machine.
No, man.
Hey,
It's got all that stainless in it.
It's extended wear. That's
right.
good.
Yeah.
You buy your
Well,
car.
agree to disagree.
You know what? I come from the red world originally, and we used to do that because it was the same damn combine except for spiked rasp bars. Other than everything was stainless.
Well, guys, I'm going to tell you, this is going to go back a long ways, but you all remember this. I saw in York, Nebraska, a 9750 that had 1 million bushels of corn go through it. And there was more wear on that machine than I've ever seen on a rice combine.
I believe it. I believe it in a
so,
heartbeat.
But what we have to remember is it doesn't matter what our opinion in this room is.
Yeah.
I have no,
our customers.
It's the customers. It's the customer opinion. You know, personally, I've traveled around enough. I'd have no issue with a rice machine. I'd sell a rice machine in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
But the customer perception of a rice machine is not at that. Our guys sit there and look at it, and they automatically associate that with just travesty.
do you think that's changing, though? Because, of course, that's what we deal in. I mean, my corn guys, I order rice machines so I can sell locally. But
Right.
do you think that perspective's changing a little bit?
I think as far as is that a problem machine? I don't think that's there anymore. And if it wasn't for that rotor difference, that's what I run
That's
into.
what-
Guys, honest,
it won't work.
they honestly don't care that it was in rice. That's a non-issue because they know a lot of that shit's heavier duty.
Absolutely.
You know, they know that.
Extremely heavy duty.
Yeah, it's the rotor. That's
Yep,
it.
it just will not work.
That we have.
And what is the issue you run into?
We have trouble with it in corn. That's what
Yeah.
surprises
It's
me that
corn.
you order it for corn machines.
Yeah, it's corn.
What, cracking corn or too aggressive?
Yes.
Cracking and capacity.
I was just
limiting.
going to say the throughput is greatly
But guys,
diminished.
think about your corn yields versus my corn yields.
Right.
There's a
That's-
big difference.
Right.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
A lot big difference.
But I think if there was a positive to all of this, you know, price point at auctions has affected the perception a little bit too.
Right.
These guys will jump on a combine for a
Well,
little cheaper.
and you guys have seen this through the years. I deal with it constantly. Some of you don't deal with it as much, but the custom harvester combine. For the longest, and it's gone in waves.
Yeah.
I can remember when I was a kid, ooh, that's a harvester machine.
You don't want that.
Don't touch that one.
Yep.
Then there became like I want to call it like around 2000 to 10. It was kind of, I'd really like to have that harvester machine because those guys take care of shit.
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from?
What size that?
That's because they all started listening to us going, calm down, they fix it when it's broke. That thing's probably in better shape than Bob, neighbor farmer's
You know,
combine.
we run into
If
that.
it's not running, they're not making money.
That's
Right.
exactly right.
We had that stigma in the I-states on commercial sprayers.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, that was huge.
Bad.
And don't get me wrong, there's outliers, but as a whole, if it's not turning, it's not earning it.
Right.
So those commercial sprayers, I mean, they've had more maintenance on them than farmer machines
Yeah.
a lot of the time. They might cosmetically be a little blighted, but
It's
they'll run.
Cosmetically, they don't look as good, but I promise you, the finals, the
Yep.
engine, the hydro, all that shit's in way better shape
The majority
than
of
the
the
farmer
time.
because they bring it in every winter and say yes.
Yeah,
And most of them
Not how much. What can we do for 10?
fixed.
Fix it.
Yep.
and most of them have had consistent operators.
Yes.
Right.
We-
Hopefully.
With the commercial
Hopefully.
sprayers, that operator thing, that for us is a little more location to location. But as a general rule, those commercial sprayer and then the tightening up of the sprayer supply has really just kind of zapped all those up too.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
You know,
If you have an 8,000 hour 4930 right now, you can sell it in 20 days.
I sold a lot of them this year,
Yeah.
4940s with.
And I don't know that I would
5,000.
waste the torch gas, but you can sell it.
Agreed.
But that's my number one selling tool. The guy said, "Man, I found this sprayer in Illinois." I said, "Bet you did. It's a commercial applicator. Good luck." That was my. Now I've got this one over here. May have been in the mud a little bit, but so yeah.
But don't get me wrong. If we get
This one was born in the Gulf. It knows how to act.
It's used to this salt air.
if we get 10 commercial machines in, and I'm not talking about the super high hour combo units, but if we just get your standard post machine in, if we get 10 of them in, there's one of them that you're going to go,
Yeah.
But the rest of them with a little basic recon and a little detailing.
I would even flip
go.
that for ours. Our course, our area is like 500 north to south and 250 east to west, and where there's not a pivot, there's sagebrush. So it's all or nothing. And that being the case, we have Nutrien, we have CPS, we got all the majors, and that's really it. The Simplots. We don't have very much mom and pop co-op anymore. They're swallowed.
Theirs are getting very far between in Illinois.
And with that being the case, when you had more of the small ASP, the farmers co-op gets to 4830s, that was a bigger crapshoot, I feel like, than Nutrien is bringing in 15.
Yeah.
Nutrien bringing in 15, you're spot on. You're going to have one that is out, call Abilene machine.
Yep.
And you're going to have 14 of them that are 1500 recon. Here we go.
Yeah, it'll work.
So,
but the mom and pops, it was because
it was either vacuumed out every night or never had the oil changed.
Because it kind of goes back. Those guys come out of the farming bit. They were just farmers themselves, and
Or the board is all local farmers, who are also our customers.
Yeah, in Illinois, it's FS, and but they're again they're just bring it in and fix the thing.
Yeah,
but because they got to answer to the board, so those got to make money.
Right,
we've got to cover acres. So
exactly.
That I've used that as a selling point. It just about the same time that the combines, we get very few of those custom machines, but they have been around. But for us, it's the sprayers.
Yeah,
that was almost to the time. Your timeline lines up with that almost identically.
Right. Yep. No, that's good stuff. Anything else, guys?
Been a good year for all of us, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you can get it, we can keep on rolling.
That's it. I just, I don't know if it was you, Aaron, or somebody said yesterday, we're not sure if we're going to go back to those 14, 15 days, but I'm going to tell you, those were painful. And I don't want to be the dealer that's sitting there saying, golly, I wish I'd have liquidated these 400-hour 8Rs, that are 425,000. And so, I don't know what this market's going to do. Hearing some of these speakers, everybody looks like it's really still positive, but it'll be interesting. It will come back. We know it will. We've all done this long enough to know it will at some point.
Just hang on.
Yeah.
Ride her down, ride her out. Enjoy life at the peak where we're at.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for sitting down, and we'll catch you next time.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's go move some iron. Out.
Axon started out of a passion for keeping agriculture moving. Imagine having 100 years of tire and wheel knowledge in your back pocket the next time you sell a piece of ag equipment. To find more or become an Axon dealer, please visit axontire.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours. No matter how you buy your ag equipment, whether it's from a dealer, an auction, or a private party, AgDirect can help you finance it. You can even apply online at agdirect.com. Learn more about your financing options at agdirect.com. TractorZoom has access to over $20 billion in heavy equipment sales data. TractorZoom's Iron Comps is the industry's trusted solution for transparent equipment values and auctionable pricing insights. This podcast is brought to you by Anvil AppWorks. The Dealer Connect CRMI app with integrated inventory management is an affordable Salesforce-based solution for your dealership. Create connected customer experience and transform how you work.
Moving iron in the 21st century.